Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. And today we're just going to take a quick little look, quick little review, my opinion, my thoughts on this film that has been done numerous times, reviews on this film. And I just figured, I want to share what my opinion is on this one because it's a film that honestly, I only saw for the very first time just a few years ago, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. So I did rewatch it just to see what I thought, see if my thoughts, nothing has changed. My opinions are still the same on this film. And that film that I'm talking about is the classic, the Stanley Kubrick classic, starring Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall, The Shining. Now, of course, there's no way around with this film when it comes right down to it. This film, for me, at least in my opinion, this is a creepy film. It is a creepy film. Jack Nicholson's performance is off the charts. It is one of the best and creepiest performances I've ever seen in any film. He goes from 0 to 10 in this film like you wouldn't believe, like that. 2.5 hour film. And are there times where it can kind of maybe drag on just a little bit too long? Possibly, but I think it's all up to, if you go into this film and you're kind of just like dead tired and you're watching, yeah, it can kind of drag on a little bit. But if you're really invested in watching this film, oh my gosh, it is fantastic. But where this, no pun intended, where this film really shines, aside from Jack Nicholson's performance and Shelley Duvall's performance as well, is the fact of just how this film looks, how this film is shot. Kubrick's vision for this, and that is, to me, that is the creepiest part of this film. It's not so much performance from Jack Nicholson. It's not so much, really, if you think about it, it's also just the idea of just being isolated. Isolated in the Overlook Hotel. You have this blizzard that's come through, all this snow that has come through. Nobody can get in there. It's impossible to get there. Phone lines are down everywhere. So that in itself is a very creepy thing. Isolation, very creepy. But the way this film is shot, like I was saying, that is just the incredible part of this film. That's what really comes through for me when I watch this. There is just something about every single shot that Kubrick is able to take with this film. His direction for this, amazing. It's just there's just, the way it comes through, because that's what really sells this film for me, is just how it's shot and how it looks. Just all the different shots when you see, just the deserted look of this hotel with only 3 people there, only 3 souls in this entire huge hotel. And you show one area, nobody there, another area, nobody there, and it gets to you. You start feeling that isolation come through the screen, and you start feeling it yourself. Especially, after, year and a half, 2 years of quarantine, with COVID, this is watching this, you get that isolated feel, and I think it comes through even more, and it hits you even harder because of it. And that is that's why I wanted to do a quick review on it. It's not so much about the performances, it's just about the vision, the visuals of how this film looks. That is what scares the living hell out of me. It's just how this film is shot and how it looks. It is creepy. And that's all. One word for this is just creepy. I'm not going to say it's not a horrific, horrifying, you're not going to be able to sleep at night type of film. I don't see it as that. It is, yes, is a haunted hotel, yes, with a lot of angry spirits. But it is, like I said, it's an isolation, and it's psychological. It's not just so much about the haunting of the hotel. It's just the psychological part too, and just the mental breakdown that Jack Nicholson goes through throughout the duration of this film. I mean, you could tell he's kind of unhinged. Even at the beginning of this film, you can definitely tell he's a little bit off. But man, just the way it just goes, it just hits a peak right at that very end. And just the way I've heard some people not like how this film ends, because it's just, some people say, oh, it's anticlimactic. No, not to me, it's not. I mean, if you haven't seen this film, again, I don't want to really spoil, just in case you're like me and somebody who has not seen this film. The way it ends, I think, it's on a perfect note, in my opinion. I think it's a perfect note of how this film ends. But I mean, visually, like going back to that, you know, when you see the elevator, you see the blood come rushing through. Creepy. But the old lady, again, if you haven't seen it, I want to tell you, but the woman who seems, you know, all young and beautiful, you know, Jack Nicholson walks into the room and he sees this woman and everything in this bathroom, and you know, in the shower. Everything is not exactly what it seems. And everybody's performance, even the secondary characters that are in this film, you know, the ghosts, they're great. They're great. The acting is great. You know, our young leading man in the film, basically, he is fantastic as well. Danny, he's great. And I can't really say too much more about this film that hasn't been already been said. You know, like I said, it's the visuals, it's the isolation, it's the music. The music is right on point as well. So I think, you know, in this film, it's pretty cheap to pick up nowadays on Blu-ray. Amazon the other day actually had the 4K for like $10. That's not bad if you haven't seen this film. But I think even the Blu-ray looks beautiful. It sounds amazing. I don't think if you're on the, you know, if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth picking up and at least taking, you know, checking it out. It's not. I mean, honestly, it's not one of my. It's not one of my top 10 favorite horror films of all time. But I definitely can understand and I can appreciate why people enjoy this film and why, for some people, this is their favorite horror film. I can absolutely understand that 100%. So, I mean, if you want, I mean, if you're looking for something that's, you know, no zombies, no vampires, no werewolves, nothing like that, but just something that just the haunted spirits and just the psychological aspect and just being the isolation in this, in the Overlook Hotel in the middle of winter, the dead of winter, this is definitely a film that's definitely worth checking out. So check out The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's classic, The Shining. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Just understand, you know, you're not going to get a lot of big monsters, you know, monsters in this film. It's all really about Jack Nicholson's performance. That's what really comes through at the end of the day is Jack Nicholson's performance. So, like, subscribe, and comment if you have the chance, and I will catch you in another episode. Take care. Bye.